Vocal delivery includes components of speech delivery that relate to your voice. These include rate, volume, pitch, tone, and voice projection. Our voice is important to consider when delivering our speech for two main reasons. First, vocal delivery can help us engage and interest the audience. Second, vocal delivery helps ensure that our ideas are communicated clearly. We have all had the displeasure of listening to an engaging speaker. Even though the person may care about his or her topic, an engaging delivery that doesn't communicate enthusiasm will translate into a lack of interest for most audience members. Although, a speaker can be visually engaging by incorporating movement and gestures, which we will discuss more later. A flat or monotone vocal delivery can be annoying. Incorporating vocal variety in terms of rate, volume, and pitch is key to being a successful speaker. Pitch refers to how high or low a speaker's voice is. As with other vocal qualities, there are natural variations among people's vocal pitch. Unlike rate and volume, there are more physiological limitations on the control we have over pitch. For example, males generally have lower pitched voices than females. Despite these limitations, each person still has the capacity to intentionally change their pitch across a range large enough to engage an audience. Changing pitch is a good way to communicate enthusiasm and indicate emphasis or closure. Volume refers to how loud or soft your voice is. As with speaking rate, you want to avoid the extremes of being too loud or too soft, but still vary your volume within an acceptable middle range. When speaking a typical sized classroom or office setting that seats about 25 people, using a volume a few steps above a typical conversational volume is usually sufficient. When speaking in larger rooms, you will need to project your voice. Tone tells about the attitude of the speaker. The tone can be sarcastic, aggressive, critical, nervous, monotonous, disappointed, friendly, enthusiastic, vivid, or persuasive. Speech rate of speaking refers to how fast or slow you speak. If you speak too fast, your audience will not be able to absorb the information you present. If you speak too slow, the audience may lose interest. The key is to vary your rate of speaking in the middle range, staying away from either extreme in order to keep your audience engaged. Notice, however, that the volume of voice varies in every situation or depending on whom one is talking to. When we change the volume of our voices in relation to a listener or an audience, we are talking about voice projection. The goal here is to avoid monotony or an unvarying tone that could bore your audience and fails to communicate your message clearly. Every speech has key points that you want to emphasize. Identify those points by changing the delivery so they stand out or contrast the rest of the speech. Change the rate meaningfully. Do not speak faster to finish the speech or to avoid talking about a main point. Change in rate is natural in conversation. Notice how you change the rate in your conversation and apply the natural changes while speaking in public.